Alright guys, before you get started, you want to tune your guitar to drop C-sharp tuning. Basically it's half step down from standard, and then you drop the 6th string down a full step from there. So it'll go C-sharp, A-flat, D-flat, G-flat, B-flat, E-flat. Tune your guitar first, that way it'll sound like mine, and then you can play it in whatever tuning you prefer. Now this song sounds difficult when played, but the finger positioning is actually really easy. There's only one chord shape I'll need you to remember as you're playing through this, and that's the D suspended 2nd shape. What you want to do is use your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string and use your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. You want to use those specific fingers because you need to use your ring finger and index finger on the strings above it. So just remember that shape, keep your fingers there for most of the song. The first part is going to be the intro, and it sounds like this. Throughout the intro. You play it I think 12 times in total. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting with that D suspended 2nd shape, and again try to lightly touch the high E string so it doesn't ring out. You want the last note you hear to be that 3rd fret B string. So what you're going to do is you're going to strum down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up before switching to the next chord shape. There, you just use your ring finger and put it on the 3rd fret of the A string and lightly touch the D string so it doesn't ring out. And again, you're still holding that D suspended 2nd shape with your middle and pinky finger. So that's the next chord shape. And all you have to do with that one is strum down, up, and then you're going to switch to the next one, which is just your index finger on the 1st fret of the A string. And again, you're keeping the D suspended 2nd shape. So down, up on the 3rd fret of the A string, down, up on the 1st fret of the A string, and then you move your ring finger to the 3rd fret of the low E string, and you're going to strum down, up again there, or 6th string. I know it's tuned down to a C sharp, but I'm going to keep referring to these in their regular note counterpart. So, first chord, D suspended 2nd, switch, switch, and switch, and then you're going to repeat. Might take some getting used to if you're not used to stretching your fingers like that, but again, chord shape's really easy because you don't have to move the G and B strings. That's the intro. Next part up is the verse and chorus. This part takes up a bulk of the song. It's going to sound like this. So again, in this case, keep your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string and the middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. Throughout most of these chord changes, with the exception of the last one, which is just a regular C major chord. So what you can do is, starting with the D suspended 2nd shape, and strum down, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, and then you're going to switch. And all you have to do is use your ring finger, put on the 3rd fret of the D string, and then you're going to strum down, up, down, up. So from first chord to the next. After that, all you have to do, keep your 3 fingers there, and all you have to do is add your index finger to the 1st fret of the A string. So it's going to be 1st fret A string, 3rd fret D, 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B. And then you can do the same strumming pattern as the D suspended 2nd chord. So down, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then you're going to switch again. And from here, all you have to do is move your ring finger from the 3rd fret of the D string to the 3rd fret of the A string. And you're going to mute the D string this time by lightly touching it. And this one is just down, up, down, up. So from this chord, so it's just a quick move. So these first 4 chords all together. Next part, you're going to switch to an A suspended 4th chord, and again, keep your middle finger, 2nd fret of the G string, pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string, and all you have to do is move your index finger to the 2nd fret of the D string, and there you have your A suspended 4th chord. This one, you don't have to switch immediately like before. This one you strum down, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then you're going to switch to a C major chord. And that one is the only time you have to really switch from that initial chord shape. So 3rd fret A, 2nd fret D, open G, 1st fret B. And this one does the same strumming pattern as the A suspended 4th chord. So down, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So these last 2 chords. And now everything together. And that's how you play the verse and the choruses. Okay, so next part up is the bridge, and that's the part that sounds like this. So you're going to start with that D suspended 2nd shape, 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B. You're going to strum down, up, down, and then put your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, and strum up, down, up. So, and then you're going to put your index finger on the 1st fret of the A string, keep your other fingers where they are, and you're going to strum down, up, down, and then you take your middle finger off the 2nd fret of the G string to leave it open. Strum down one more time, and then put your middle finger back on the 2nd fret of the G string and strum down again. So this one goes. And then you switch to a C5 chord. Now the C5 chord is your 3rd fret of the A string with your index finger, ring finger 5th fret D string, and pinky 5th fret G string. And you're just going to strum down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So all together a little bit slower. Regular speed. Alright, the next 2 parts up are the solo and the outro, and both of these parts can sound a little messy because it's not like precise picking. Let me explain. Alright, so the solo sounds like this. So basically you're going to be strumming down, up, each time you strum a different note. And you're going to want to keep the B and the high E string muted so they don't ring out. And you're going to be strumming the top 4 strings. But before I teach you how to do that strumming, I want to just teach you the individual note pattern. So you're going to start with your 7th fret of the G string with your index finger. And these are the notes you're going to play in this order. So 7th fret G, 8th fret D, 10th fret D, 7th fret G again. Then you let it ring out. And then you're going to do 7th fret G again, 8th fret D, 10th fret D, and then you're going to move up with your index finger to the 10th fret of the G string, ring finger 13th fret D string, middle finger 12th fret D string, and then index finger 10th fret D string. So that second part. focus on those notes because you're going to be doing those notes with the strum instead. So I'll play it a little bit slower. And what you're going to turn that into is this. Sounds a little bit messy, but that's just because more strings are ringing out that are open. And my guitar kind of sucks, so if you hear some buzzing, that's why. So with the strums, again, 7th fret G string, down, middle finger 8th fret D string, up, pinky 10th fret D string, down, and then index finger 7th fret G string, rest open is an up strum. Down, up, down, up. And then you're going to start the next round with an up strum on the 7th fret of the G string, up, switch to the 8th fret D, down, 10th fret D, up, and then you're going to move up here on the fretboard with your index finger to the 10th fret of the G string. You're going to strum down, put your ring finger on the 13th fret of the D string, up, middle finger 12th fret D string, down, and then index finger 10th fret D string, up. Repeat that for the solo. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, last part up is the outro, and this part again can sound a little bit messy when you play it because you're strumming a lot of open strings, but this is what it sounds like. Here, you do a lot of stretching, so get ready for that. The first chord you're going to use is going to be the 2nd fret of the G string and 5th fret of the B string. I use my index finger on the G string and my pinky on the 5th fret of the B string. And this is going to go down, up, and then you're going to move your pinky to the 5th fret of the G string, and again you want to keep the B and G muted, B and E muted for this part, and you're going to go up, down, up. So from first to second chord. Then you're going to go back to the first chord and go up, down, up again. And here's where the stretching gets even worse. So you slide your pinky up to the 6th fret of the B string, keeping your index finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. And then you're going to go up, down, up. So. So those first 4 chords. And then you're essentially going to do the same kind of pattern, but up here on the fretboard. It's going to be the same notes, just with a different bass line. So what I do is I use my index finger to bar the 7th fret of the E, A, and D strings, and then I use my pinky on the 9th fret of the G string. And you can do the same strumming pattern for this one as the first chord. So down, up, and this is the note. It's the same note over here. So down, up, and then I move my pinky to the 10th fret of the D string and strum up, down, up, back to the 9th fret of the G, up, down, up, and then up to the 10th fret of the G string, up, down, up. So. Same strumming pattern as the first set of chords. So all together, those 2 parts. And then for the last part, you're going to go back down to that first chord you started with, 2nd fret G, 5th fret B. You're going to strum down, up, and then move your pinky again to the 5th fret of the G string, up, down, up. And here's where you're going to switch notes with each strum. So the next part sounds like this. What I'm doing here is after that up, down, up strum on the 5th fret of the G string, I'm going to take my pinky off and I'm going to use my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the G string. And I'm also going to have my index finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. That way it makes it really easy to switch. So you want to basically keep your index finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. But it's going to go up on the 3rd fret of the G string, down on the 2nd, up on the 3rd, down on the 5th, up on the 3rd, down on the 2nd, and then up, open. So. Basically, you want to get this result, but with strumming. And then at the very end, you're going to do a C5 chord again. So 3rd fret A, 5th fret B, and G string, and you're going to strum down, 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 up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So the second half of the outro. The outro all together. A little bit slower. Regular speed. After you finish all of that, last part of the song is played like this. So if you remember the bridge, that first part is all you play again. So you start with that D suspended 2nd chord, you're going to strum down, up, down, ring finger 3rd fret D string, up, down, up, index finger 1st fret A string, down, up, down, take your middle finger off the 2nd fret of the G string, down, and then put it back on the 2nd fret. Now instead of ending on the C5 chord, you're going to end on the D suspended. So just take all your fingers off besides the pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string and your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and then just strum down and mute it. So. And that's how you play the song. Alright guys, that does it for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I've been meaning to do this one for a while. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment box down below like always. And I've got more videos coming up soon. I've been working on more tabs. I've also found a way to do links in the description to access the tabs as a document. So let me know if those work, and if they do, I can go back and put them on all the other videos I have in the past, so you can take the tabs with you as opposed to having to watch the video each time. Might make it easier for you, but let me know. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Just hit the mic. Boom.